The Cloud Shell tool is worth exploring as an optional way to interact with the GCP cloud environment. You can get to Cloud Shell a couple different ways. There's an icon inside of the console. So if you're already in the console, you can just click this icon and the Cloud Shell will appear at the bottom of the screen. You don't necessarily have to access it from the console. You can also get to it by going to shell.cloud.google.com, and that'll open up a terminal for you. Either way, you log in with the credentials that you have in the current session. So because I had already logged in to Cloud Shell, or into, Cloud Console, the Cloud Shell uses the OAuth token from the Cloud Console login. You're going to have access to the same VPCs, the same projects, just as if you were using the GUI to work up here in the console, but you have the advantage that you can do scripting and automation and a little bit more flexibility than you get just with the mouse and keyboard. gcloud is pre-installed in the VM that gets spun up. So for example, if you wanted to do gcloud compute and check out the firewall rules in the project, you can go ahead and just type in the gcloud command like you would if you had gcloud installed locally. Other Linux tools are pre-installed, as you would expect on any standard Linux distribution like Debian. So if we wanted to use a tool like JQ that we would normally expect to be installed on a standard Linux distro, for the most part, you're going to find those tools are already there in the Cloud Shell for you. You can download other software immediately if you like. You can use the apt install to download Linux packages. You can get clone packages from Git repositories and bring those in and add software to this temporary VM. Now, some of the disadvantages are going to be that if you're using ephemeral Cloud Shell, there's no storage. So when you close out your browser process, the information goes away and the VM that Google created is going to get destroyed. And Cloud Shells are not going to persist over time either. Like if you install gcloud locally on your laptop, you have it there whenever you want to use it. But these VMs get generated and then destroyed each time you start and stop a Cloud Shell respectively. Still, they fully support the automation through the gcloud scripting, and for normal maintenance, reporting, auditing, they are much more convenient than having to build your own virtual machine or in some cases install gcloud locally. For example, one of the problems you can have with gcloud in a proxy environment is that the installation package doesn't play well with authenticated HTTPS proxies. So you could easily just come out here to your Cloud Shell and run the same scripts. As an example, I git cloned this GCP audit project here using git clone and then the address, and so now I have that folder down here. And I can run these scripts from this project just the same as if I was on my own computer. So if I wanted to run this script here, I would just run it like normal. Cloud Shell is not necessarily a substitute for having gcloud installed on your own computer, and it's not a substitute certainly for infrastructure as code like Terraform. But when you just need to do some general maintenance, auditing, reporting, it gives you the full power of the automated scripting without having to use the console and try to do the same type of activity using keyboard and mouse.